Ruben Amorim, with 7 wins out of 29 after their latest draw to Fulham, is on the hot seat right now of getting sacked. Now, he has the worst winning percentage so far of any Man United manager after 30 games, even though it's 29. He has a 25% win ratio, 7 wins, 7 draws, and 15 losses. He also has the lowest points per game average of a United manager since the 1930s at 0.96 points per game. Mind you, a game, you can get a maximum of 3 points, and he's getting only a third of that per game. So we are going to be discussing whether he deserves to get sacked or not.
Well, first of all, welcome back to another episode of the Basement Ballers. Back after a couple of special guest episodes that we did over the last couple of weeks. If you guys liked those episodes, those style of videos, we're going to have so many guests coming on. And if you want to be potentially a future guest on the Basement Ballers show, make sure you join our Discord. The link will be in the description. Help us build that community. We were almost at 150 members, so definitely do that. But for today, we're talking about Ruben Amorim. We're talking about Manchester United. They're absolutely up and down, shambolic form, because week one, you would have not predicted that United would lose to Fulham. Why? Because they actually played a good game against Arsenal, and quite frankly, they probably deserved to get something out of that game. But then going into Fulham, it was just a midfield disaster class, not just by Bruno, but by that entire midfield. And then, but Bruno being the spearhead of their failure, misses a penalty, blames the referee, and then
even the goal that they scored, the Smith Rowe goal, Bruno was marking him. He just let him run past him, bro. They had a pivot at one point of Mason Mount and Bruno Fernandes, bro.
Yeah, literally.
Like it's the thing with United right now is obviously they did play well against Arsenal, but I did warn you, and I remember like on the live streams I was saying this. United have a habit of they can be absolutely shit, but they will raise their level against the big teams. As you remember last year against you guys, against Liverpool at Anfield, they could have won that game last minute. Harry Maguire, if he had a better shooting touch, they could have won that game last minute. That was a team that finished 15th, and you guys ended up being champions. So United do turn up against the big teams in general. Like, they obviously beat Man City. They even made it to the Europa League final. I mean, yeah, they lost it, but United's issue is just being consistent against the quote-unquote weaker teams. And when they going against Fulham, I said, this is actually a harder game for them than Arsenal because we expect them to raise their level against Arsenal. Not necessarily win, but we expect the level to be good. And the first, I'd say 15, 20 minutes, United were looking very good against Fulham. Like, Cunha hit the post at some point. He was looking lively. He had one time where I forgot who crossed him the ball, but some guy was crossing him the ball. He took like the nicest touch, and then he shot. Unfortunately, Leno saved it. But Cunha was looking lively. The game was flowing well. Even Mason Mount had a few nice touches here and there. It's just United fizzled out. They got the goal around the 35th minute, I believe. Lenny Yoro. I mean, it was an own goal by Muniz, but Lenny Yoro pretty much directed it into the goal. But after that, it's just same old United. They just took their foot off the gas. And actually, no, the goal was in the second half. I lied. But the penalty was on the 35th minute.
Yes,
I lied.
Yes.
Bruno skied the penalty, reminiscent of, Aston Villa 4 years ago when he teethed Ronaldo's penalty off him. And then skied it. And now Bruno, apparently, there are links to Saudi again. Now, if you remember, back in June, Al Hilal wanted to buy him for, I think it was like 100 M's. And, United said no, whatever. But now United might want to sell him because they could sell him and then probably go get Baleba from Brighton. And also they want to get a goalkeeper because Bayern there sucks and Onana is only famous because of a Rihanna song. So, yes.
Wow, that's a lot. But you know what, brother? It's true because you know what? Like, you try to sort of dissect the problem at United. You could say that, they needed new players. They went out and got new players, especially attacking-wise. They have those three. Sesko didn't even start. I mean, I know Amorim was talking about, it takes time for players to come into the squad, whatever. Look at Ekitike for Liverpool. I understand that obviously Liverpool are in a different situation where we have to play this brother, obviously, because we don't really have options.
United have to play him too, though. They don't have a striker.
But United, they spent, 70 million, I think?
They spent, 70 on him, about 65 on Cunha. And Buemo, I forgot how much, but it was
around 60 as well. So, yeah. But they spent this money on a player, and what United is struggling with, especially against Arsenal, was that last finishing touch. Because they had that build-up play against Arsenal. They had the chances. They just weren't really finishing their chances. Now, with Fulham, mind you, they did play at Craven Cottage, right? But it was a matter of discipline over performance. It was a matter of Bruno, for example, in this case, the captain of the team, the guy who's supposed to motivate your team, to basically lead the defensive line in this case and actually like hustle until the end of the game, which he didn't, and obviously United paid for that. So there's certain things. There's a lot of things that like that are at play here. I don't understand why they didn't sell Bruno. I made, I think, at least 1 or 2 videos on TikTok about the fact that they should probably move on from Bruno. He's not a captain of Manchester United. I don't care if they talk about, oh, he saved us from relegation, whatever.
Yeah, but that's hyperbole. They were obviously never going to get relegated.
You know, you're Manchester United, you bums. Like, are you talking about relegation as Manchester United, and you still have the gall to come to me as a Liverpool fan talking about, oh, we're the biggest club in England? You're talking about relegation. We haven't talked about Liverpool haven't talked about relegation since the days of Jesus, and we're out here talking about relegation as Manchester United.
But mind you, you say the they did play at Craven Cottage, but United, I believe I saw the stat. Now this could be wrong. Someone could fact check me, but I believe United have not. But up until this game that just happened, United had not left Craven Cottage without a win since 2010. So the last 15 years they've been at Craven Cottage, they've won there. And plus, 2 out of their last 15 games in London, so I guess, Arsenal, Fulham, Crystal Palace, Chelsea, whatever, out of all their last 15 games in London, they've only won 2 of them. And those 2 games have been against Fulham at Craven Cottage. So United generally do have a good record against Fulham. It's just this goes back all to last year where United under Amorim have, glimpses, but then they just peter out. I feel like this formation doesn't work for the team they have either. I feel like his substitutions make no sense because even me, as a, I was a neutral. Well, not really a neutral. I did want them to lose, to be fair. But even me, I was watching the Fulham game and I did not understand the decision on, I think it was like the 52nd minute to take out Ahmad for Dallo. Ahmad offers way more attacking wise than Dallo, and at that point you're winning 1-0. Like knowing you need to get a second or third goal. But he went for the defensive, and then he brings on Harry Maguire at some point towards the end. It's just like his subs don't make sense, his in-game management don't make sense, even his lineups don't make sense because if you're gonna play Bruno, play him as a number 10. The guy's not a midfielder. The guy's trying to shackle him into this midfield role, which he is not. Put him as a number 10 along with Cunha, and then maybe put Mbuemo as a striker if you don't want to play Sesko. Or just put, at this point, I know he's going to get transferred away and does suck, but at this point, put Bruno, Cunha, and put Rasmus Højlund as your striker. Just try something. You can't be putting 3 number 10s on the pitch with no striker. His tactics just make no sense.
And the way that he sort of speaks in front of the press, I remember initially everyone was like, oh, he's just an honest brother. He's, this is what we needed in the locker room, so on and so forth, right? Obviously coming off of a Ten Hag tenure and and all the BS that he was spitting, right? But this brother comes out and says, we need to look at the opponent to understand what we need to do. We need to win. Motherfucker, yes.
But even that's he's speaking like a weak man. See, a big, for example, I'll give you an example at Barca, okay? When we play teams under Flick doesn't come out saying, oh, I selected this lineup in accordance with the team that we're playing against. No. Maybe for example, if playing a team that is going to be a low block, okay, you might put in a Danny Olmo instead of a Fermin Lopez, for example, but the team itself stays the same. But the way this guy's talking is basically he's talking like he's setting out his team to play depending on who the opponent is, where you should just have one style of play. Obviously, you should have a plan B, but just be like, we're Man United and you're Fulham. Why should I be game planning for you? You should be worried about me. And United, the thing is, their team on paper is decent. Okay, the goalkeeping situation obviously is not that good, but they have Lenny Euro, a guy who's linked with Madrid, mind you. Matthias de Ligt, who, at one time was, wonder kid at Ajax. Obviously wasn't a bit disappointing at Juventus and Bayern, but still decent. Wasn't terrible. They have their other center back, which is damn, I forgot who's their other center back. It's they had Luke Shaw. True, they had Luke Shaw as their left. Luke Shaw when he's fit is decent. Obviously he's never fit, but there's
Lisandro,
that. No, Lisandro's injured right now.
Yeah, but in general.
Yeah, in general, but their defense in general is good. I'd say Dallo, he sucks. But Dorgu's decent. You can put Ahmad as a wing back. Even their midfield, bro. Kobe Mainoo's begging for minutes on the bench. You tell me he can play. He'd be worse than Bruno as a midfielder or as Manuel Ugarte.
Even you're talking about a double pivot. You could play Mainoo there, and all. There's been rumors that he's not requested, but that he would be open to a move out of United. And the thing is, this guy 2 seasons ago was basically the Mainoo best youngster in the Premier League right now, and he's so good.
He got that goal against Wolves, and then people started gassing him.
And then he got the call up to the English national team.
Then also scored in the FA Cup final against Man City as well. He's been
right.
Like, is this the way it's been handled right now? Just I don't know. And like, here's the thing: I get that being manager for United isn't easy, but bro, you got given money. You can't say you got like going into the summer. No one thought United was gonna spend. The rumors were they're broke. They have no money. They have to sell, Sir Jim's cat or something for funds, whatever. They went and got 200 million plus worth of players, and yeah, I agree. They should have maybe gotten, instead of getting 2 number 10s, maybe get Cunha, Sesko, and maybe a goalkeeper. But they got 3 very good attackers. And then you could have sold Bruno for 100 M's, and then with that 100 M, go get a goalkeeper and go get a DM, like a Baleba or one of those guys. But United just, like, Amorim doesn't have any excuses anymore. Look, last year, he was insanely bad. The only thing you could say is he got them to the Europa League final. Even then, they lost. But they said, Premier League form is bad, but if he wins us the Europa League, then all is forgiven. He didn't, but then you could be like, okay, he didn't have a preseason. He only got 1 player in the January transfer window, which was, Dorgu, who's a young left wing back, essentially. So you'd be like, okay, give him a preseason, give him funds, and so far, it's only been 2 games, so I'm not. If I was a United fan person, I would have sacked him after the Europa League. But maybe don't sack him now. But if this form continues until I'd say for another month, by the time it's like game week 10, United are stuck on like 3 wins and like 13th in the table. Just sack him at that point because their next games. You know what they're playing their next 3 games? I forgot if they're home and away though. But they're playing Man City, Chelsea, and Burnley. Burnley should be good. They should win that. Chelsea and Man City they're probably losing. So that leaves them with. That will leave them with a win, 3 losses, and a draw in their first 5 games.
Mind you, like, to give credit to United, that's a pretty rough start to a season. So obviously, like, I wouldn't depending on those results, it's like I wouldn't like sack Amorim. But this is my opinion on Amorim, right? And I think you said it very well, but I'll just add on to it, guys. He's earned less than 1 point per game that he's managed the club. 29 games and 28 points.
That's
earned.
almost a full Prem season. So 28 points after 29 games. So after 29 games in a full Prem season, you guys will be basically like in the relegation zone in general, or like 17th.
100%.
Over a whole. That's 29 games, man. That's almost a full Prem season.
No, that's a crime. Like that's a crime. And you're Manchester United, so that's number 1. That obviously goes against him very strong. Number 2 is you mentioned it, bro. On paper, they don't have a bad squad. They really don't.
That squad can finish top 6.
Exactly. If managed correctly, they can finish top 6. They're just being mismanaged. And the reason why the way that you can see that this is the case, right? And obviously, this even extends to the Erik ten Hag time, is you have players leaving United and performing, right? Because they're being placed in positions to perform based on their skill sets. Anthony is obviously one example. I don't know what that brother's doing right now. He's obviously probably chilling at home. But
Anthony went away. McTominay went away. McTominay left United, won Serie A MVP. Literally just started off the campaign by scoring a goal in Napoli's first game. Anthony balled out of Betis. Rashford, I mean, decent Villa, but now he's at Barca. Sancho was hit and miss. Okay, I'll just say that Sancho was a bit hit and miss. But like the thing is, there is a pattern.
There's a elephant in the room, right? Which is United, in terms of their young talent, have mismanaged the shit out of them. You have, obviously, we spoke about Mainu.
Even Garnacho.
Ahmad is not a right wing back.
Even Garnacho.
He's not a right wing back, and he's being played out of position and expected to perform. And then Alejandro Garnacho, Mr. Everton bicycle kick, Mr. He's basically, he loves Ronaldo, idolized Ronaldo, this guy that was hyped up all this shit, right? He made an enemy out of this brother after the Europa League, basically saying like this dude was performing, and I think he only played 20 minutes in that Europa League final.
No, but don't get me wrong, though. Garnacho, I think, is buns. I think he is ass cheeks, to be fair.
I don't think we can say that, though, because I just feel like watch Garnacho go to Chelsea and actually perform.
You can say that.
You can say that?
Garnacho sucks, bro.
You can say that?
I can't, trust me. No, don't get me wrong. I think he will perform better outside of United. Don't get me wrong. Because it makes no sense that you get someone like a world-class DM like Casemiro. He comes to United, and Casemiro isn't that old. He's like 33, I think. He's 33, 34. Like, yeah, he is old, but for a DM, he still has like maybe 2 or 3 years in him, right? The guy basically fell off a cliff ever since he joined United. You have obviously Sancho, one of the world's best talents. People like the guy went through a season scoring 20 goals and 20 assists. Okay, in a season, not in Bundesliga, just like in all competitions. 20 goals, 20 assists in a season. One of the brightest youngsters goes for 75 M's to United. Trash. Anthony goes to United. Trash. Garnacho started off well, became trash. Rashford got burnt out towards the end. Varane leaves Madrid, goes to United, becomes trash. Like, You know what I mean? Even Onana, like, don't get me wrong, I think he's buns, but was it with Inter Milan was good. Suddenly he goes to United and just, like, I'm telling you, bro, Pogba, apparently there was a rumor Pogba buried, like, something under Old Trafford and gave them a curse. I'm starting to believe it now, I can't lie.
Man, the curse of Pogba. But let's finish this video by giving our final verdicts. Brahim, just in your most simplest terms, what is the circumstance that needs to happen for United to sack Amorim? In your opinion?
I think it's already happened. I think Amorim, okay, you could say he came in middle of the season last year, but middle of the season, he joined in October. It's not like he joined in, let's say, January, February. He did join in October. So, yeah, he didn't have a preseason, whatever, but he still had October to... That's still 7 months, right? He had 7 months to work with the squad, and I know the squad obviously isn't amazing, but the squad is not bad enough to finish, what was it, 15th that they finished? Yeah, they finished 15th, and... You could see in the Europa League, obviously, they had like a bit about them, and then they go to the final and put in such a limp performance against the worst Spurs team I've ever seen, and they lose to them, okay? Then you could say, oh, well, you know, they don't have preseason, whatever. Has a preseason, has a transfer window, comes into this year. They play well against Arsenal, but that was to be expected because they always raise their level against big teams. Then they draw to Fulham, where I said the first 20 minutes was good, the rest of the game was meh, and that's how United have played for years. I'm telling you, it's not just an Amorim issue, don't get me wrong, but if you're at a big club like United, this whole give them time thing doesn't work. If you're at a club like Man United, just keep sacking managers till you come to the right one. That's how Chelsea were doing that for 20 years under Abramovich. And yeah, people said it was chaotic or whatever. But Chelsea, using that strategy, were able to win 2 Champions Leagues, multiple league titles, FA Cups, whatever. If you're a big club, you just keep sacking managers till you land on the right one, no matter what you have to pay, whatever. And Ruben Amorim, after 29 games, has 7 wins. If I'm a United fan right now, I'm sacking him.
Well, I'll say this, and I think that, yeah, there comes a point. So let's say... just to give it like a timeline, if by December, which is just before the January transfer window, obviously, Man United are sitting in a like shambolic. Right now they're 16th. I know it's only 2 games. But right now they're 16th. But if United are still sitting in a shambolic position, then you sack, right? But what I will say, and I want to leave everyone with this final thought, right? Because recently, obviously, Marcus Rashford was interviewed, a former Manchester United player.
Technically still is, but yeah.
Yeah, well, exactly. He's only on loan. You're right. He was interviewed, and they were asking him about like what's not really what's wrong at United, but kind of they were just talking about United. And he said the problem is that they don't give these new managers time to rebuild the system, right? Because when they're always sacking managers, it's hard to rebuild the system. With Liverpool, when they brought in Klopp, they said, "Fuck it, we're gonna let Klopp rebuild the system and create and basically impose his system onto the club." And he created a culture. So
you could see the vision with Klopp. That's the difference.
You don't see the vision with Amorim, huh?
I do not. With Klopp, you could see the vision that the first couple years he was there, like Liverpool were chaotic defensive, but they were lightning quick attacking. Was like the vision was there from the beginning. Like, you know, he joins. Yeah, he finished 8th in his first like full season. Well, not full season. It was his first. He came in October, similar to Amorim. He came in October. They finished 8th. You know what I mean? 8th isn't good, but he didn't finish 15th. Plus, you could see the vision. Like, he got them to Europa League final. He had that big-ass comeback against Dortmund in the semifinals, right? Like, you know, you could see the vision. With Amorim, I don't see it, bro.
Fair enough. Well, guys, as always, at the end of these episodes, we throw the question to you. Is Manchester United in trouble first? But the main question, should Ruben Amorim be sacked? And if so, when do you think enough is enough?
No.
Let us know in the comments. Everything that we do, Basement Ballers wise, is in the description. Social media links, TikTok, Instagram. The Discord, again, will be also in the description. It's called the Ballers Academy. Almost 150 members where you can speak to like-minded fans and you can banter unlike-minded fans. So make sure you go check that out. Check out FITNTX. They are a company that we are partnered with. That are doing great things in the sporting world as a sports networking agency. So check them out. The link to their website will be in the description as well. And without further ado, guys, we love your faces. We love all your support. Thank you for all the follows. Like, subscribe, comment, and we'll see you on the next video. Peace.